I mean, the title is pretty much it. Paul and I have been friends since second grade. We have shared practically everything with each other, been there for each other when no one else was. We tell each other, I love you pretty often. He is my family. I don't drink much, ever, and Paul had begged me to come with him to his friend's apartment for drinks and games. I decided to let loose, bad move on my part, and drank too much. He had a bit to drink as well, but not nearly as much. He saw I was warm and loopy, so he took me out for some fresh air. Honestly, this bit is pretty fuzzy. I just remember laughing and going to kiss his cheek like I would my mother, but it didn't end that way. I missed and kind of hit the corner of his mouth, and he took that as an invitation to really kiss me. We kind of made out, and then he told me he loved me, and I told him I loved him too, because that's what we always say. But he responded with something like, no, like, I am in love with you. And then I puked in a bush and he took me home. Still quite embarrassed about it. It's been a couple days and neither of us has brought it up. I am kind of confused about my feelings. I haven't really been in love before, but I do love him. And I've always considered him my person. Am I being obtuse? How can I bring the topic up with him? Because I do want to discuss it once I figure myself out. Top comments. Somebody said, close your eyes and imagine him with another woman, and think about how you would feel if he smiled at another woman, just like he does with you, in the way he looks at you. Many times they don't realize the feelings until it's too late. Many times because you take it for granted or because you see such a predictable person. And many people let that person go because another person came along and they see the novelty, they see something new. But in the end, you realize that that other person didn't love you, so you regret it. And many times it's too late. Original poster replied, well, we have grown up together and have seen each other through different phases of life. We have each dated other people. Whenever he has had a girlfriend, I have never felt jealous or unhappy. He seemed happy, which made me happy, and I always got along with his girlfriend. That being said, we have always had our special inside jokes and secret handshakes. I never felt pushed aside, so maybe that was why I was so okay. A commenter, I had female best friend when I was younger. We both got married to other people, divorced, caught feelings later, and have been married for 22 years. Process how you feel, and then talk it out. Original poster replied, is there a good way to process emotions? I am just so confused and nervous, to be honest, a commenter. Ask yourself honestly how you feel. Don't worry about the future. Don't worry about what happened. Do I enjoy being around him? Is the only question you ask. Then you go a step further. Is he nice to me? And then eventually you'll get to, do I like him as more than just a friend? One step at a time, but you two have crossed into uncharted territory, so you have to either diffuse it and move on or embrace it and move on. Maybe you don't like him, but maybe you do. Either way, you're young, so you should embrace what it means to be human and see where life takes you. It seems to want you to go this direction, if only for a little while. Someone said, I'm ADHD and old, so not sure my advice is worth it for you. But I basically need a few days for the feelings to make sense. Move past confused and nervous. Make sure it wasn't all emotions misfiring and I legitimately feel what I do. Then approach a conversation openly based on what I want to see if it's mutual. Update, 1 week later, someone mentioned something about an update. I'm not sure if this is how it is meant to be done, so I don't know if anyone will even see it, but this is how I am doing it. So we talked, and I was honest. I have been way overthinking this and really just confusing myself more and more. I came to terms with the fact that I was truly very into the kiss and enjoyed the thought of kissing him, even when I was sober. So I told him that, but I also told him how nervous I have been about our relationship because I have thought of him as someone who will be in my life forever since 6th grade, and I have never been lucky in love. The thought of us parting ways because our relationship goes south makes me feel legitimately ill, and I told him that too. I started off with the talking because he knew it was coming and I could tell he was incredibly nervous, but he seemed to loosen up as I continued. He actually smiled a little. After I finished my speech, he said, "Can I say something cheesy but true?" And I naturally replied with yes. He told me that he has loved me since middle school and that he never thought it would get this far. I am still utterly shocked by this. I seriously have never known. I was getting all flustered and shy because of a man I have literally shared everything with, which is bonkers. When I am with him, I am the most unapologetic version of myself, but he had me blushing. That pretty much solidified it for me. The only thing left to discuss was how to move forward, and he took the initiative and asked what it was that I wanted to do about this. I had been thinking about this for a day or so since unraveling how I felt about him. I suggested that we go on a real date, not just a hangout, if he would be okay with that. I understand that at this point, he is much deeper into this than I am, so I don't want to do anything to hurt him. But committing super hard would be a lie on my end, and this feels necessary to explore. Honestly, is it a possibility that he could find out that I was better in his head or something? Anyway, he agreed and we are giving it a shot. I am very happy and he seems to be as well. He was absolutely grinning once I offered up the date idea. He was tickled that I asked him out. It was very cute. So thank you to everyone for your suggestions and support. It was surprisingly helpful. This post was more like a diary entry than anything else, and reading it back is kind of cringe, but I am grateful nonetheless. If anyone is reading this, have a great day. Comments. This is so wholesome. Sounds like you handled everything really well, being honest about your feelings, acknowledging your fears, and giving yourself space to explore things naturally. The fact that he's been in love with you for so long and was so happy when you asked him out is seriously adorable. Wishing you both the best on your date. Thank you. Keep your fingers crossed for me. LOL update 1 month later. Hey everyone. I really didn't think I would ever do another update. But so many of you have asked for one that it feels evil holding on to this information, haha. Just a summary of my last 2 posts. Paul and I drunkenly made out and he said he was in love with me. I freaked out and questioned how I felt about him, because we have been best friends since 2nd grade. I came to the conclusion that I enjoyed kissing him, and we talked it out and decided to try out a real date. If you want more details, just read the other posts. LOL. Paul and I are exclusively dating, and have been since that first date, which went, well, I thought that I would be the nervous one and he would be chill, since I had been overthinking about how our dynamic will change since day 1, and he kept saying he was so excited for the date. But when he picked me up and brought me flowers like the gentleman he is, my brain went a quiet calm and everything just felt like it clicked into place for me. He, on the other hand, was sweating bullets, incredibly nervous. He was chivalrous and cheesy, opening the car door for me and making a show of it. It was really adorable. Also, this felt entirely new. I wondered if our date would feel like a regular hangout, but it didn't. It felt special, and my cheeks were warm and tired from smiling the entire night. The car ride was kind of awkward at first just because he was so stiff, but he explained that this is something that he had been dreaming of for years now and was really scared to mess up. He loosened up after I reassured him that the biggest possible mess-up wouldn't deter me. We had a really big heart-to-heart on the drive to the restaurant and came to the conclusion that no matter how this goes, we will be in each other's lives no matter what capacity. It made us both relax a bit more. I held his hand in the parking lot. Because we already know each other like no one else, we fell into our conversational habits. But it still felt like I was unlocking parts of him that weren't available to me before, and that he was doing the same to me. I really thought I would be freaked out, but it is so natural and we have such a deep trust that has been established over the years that I don't even feel slightly stressed. Sometimes it is a little weird, but nice. Over the years, we have cuddled a few times, like a head on the shoulder with minimal contact. So being a little more intimate feels foreign, and sometimes I do feel the need to rewire my brain because I have to remind myself that it is appropriate to do it with him. But once I remind myself, it is incredibly nice. It has been over a month since our date and we are still taking it slow. Don't expect an engagement announcement anytime soon. We are comfortable with this pace. Also, if you have any questions about our past or our relationship, fire away. There is a lot of lore spanning over a decade, LOL. Thanks to everyone who wants to keep up with how we are doing. It is genuinely so sweet to have the amount of support that you guys have provided. Comments. I love this. I am curious. Did he tell you why he didn't confess sooner? Like, did he almost tell you some other time? Seems like such a long time to wait. Original poster replied, he confessed that he actually never planned on telling me. He was so positive that it could never happen and thought it would be a burden on me. Thank you. Alcohol LOL, somebody said. I have loved my best female friend since early high school. I thought she did, but wasn't too sure. We went our separate ways in late high school and college. Dated other people, got some experience, and learned what relationships and love is about. We reconnected through a chance encounter, and it felt like stars had aligned. We got married 2 years later. She's my absolute best friend, and I would not want to live without her. It's the most certain thing in my life. I feel so incredibly secure. It's bliss. A lot of young people seem to think that too much familiarity is a bad thing. Sayings like, he's like a brother to me, implying you need to find a total stranger to date and get close to. But every person was, at one point, a stranger. And no matter who you marry, you're going to spend decades with that person. Are you not going to eventually get so close with them that it also feels that he's like a brother to me? Of course, I understand that often in these situations, the emotional attraction is there, but not the sensual, which is also important. But I don't think people should be going out of their way to look for reasons not to date someone they're very compatible with. There are plenty of fish in the sea, but you don't have time to catch them all.
Hi, I'm Noah. As a mild lurker on Reddit, I thought I would share my story and newest development in my life after 30 years. Might be a bit long, but will do my very best to give you context without too much fluff. Hope this is the right sub. So I lost my mom when I was 12 to breast cancer. So that just left me and my dad. It was a tough time, but we got through it together. When I was 14, Dad met and married my stepmom Ashley, who brought with her my stepbrother Mark, 14, and stepsister Emily, 12. I got along with Ashley and Emily really well, but Mark, not so much so. He and I were always getting into arguments and fights. I was always told by my dad to give Mark a break because he's been the man of his house for a while. So this is all new. Like somehow it wasn't new to me? Anyways, when I was 15, I met a girl at school, Lisa, and we started dating. As much as one can date at 15. However, Mark apparently had a crush on her and was mad that I asked her out. He started a fight over it, in which my dad had to intervene once again. And somehow, I again was made to be the bad guy. One day after my 16th birthday, my stepmom was putting away my laundry and started yelling, which was awkward because my girlfriend Lisa was there. We all ran thinking the worst. When we got to my room, my stepmom was holding several pairs of my sister's underwear, yelling at me why they were in my drawer. I had no answer, as I'd never seen them before. Of course, no one believed me, no matter how much protesting I did. Then Mark piped up saying he always caught me staring at his sister, thought it was creepy, and caught me once saying I wish I could marry her. Obviously lying, but that was all it took. Lisa slapped me and called me a perv and told me we were done and walked out. My dad grabbed me by the arm and threw me out of the house, yelling at me that he wasn't going to put his daughter at risk from a perv. Not the word he used, but you get it. I banged on the door to be let in, crying and telling them it was all lies told by Mark. My dad apparently had enough. I heard the locks. He opened the door and shoved me to the ground and told me to get lost. I told him I had nowhere to go, and he said that wasn't his problem, then closed the door. I found myself on the streets with nothing to my name, no place to go. I tried calling my dad's parents, but he had already called them and they told me they won't help a perv. My mom's parents passed away before I was born. Well, I lived on the streets for 2 years, doing what I had to in order to survive. No kid should have had to do what I had to do in order to just live, just saying. There were some really dark days. Lots of therapy later in life helped me with this. Shortly after I turned 18, I found a job working at a boxing gym, states away from where I began this horrible journey. I worked there for years, learned the sport, never gonna beat Mike Tyson, but was good at the sport, which helped me with my hate and anger. Then one day I met a new girl, Ame, 20, at the cafe down the street from the gym. At this point I was 35, I know, huge age gap, but we just clicked. I don't believe in fate or soulmates or any of that stuff like that, but if there is such a thing, we had it. Don't know how else to put it. We dated for 2 years and then got married. Her dad was an electrician and hired me afterwards. I think mostly to know I would be able to support his daughter and know I was doing right by her, but also in case he needed to keep me in check. He never said this, but as a dad, I get it now. Well, 15 years later, we are still together with 4 beautiful daughters. I just passed my master's license as an electrician. Thanks to my wife for pushing me to get my general educational development test. She has been my rock, my cheerleader, my overall support through this all, and I can't tell her enough how much she changed my life and how much I love her. Anyways, sorry for the tangent. So just this last weekend, I received an email from my stepsister. Not sure how she got my email address, but I know it isn't hard via the internet, not like I've been hiding. Mind you, I'm now pushing 53, so it's been more than 30 years since I've heard from any of them. It was a long email, not going to give you all of it, but the meat of it is, they now know what really happened. Mark, I guess, was busy drinking with his buddies on Friday, and somehow my name was mentioned. Mark, I guess, started bragging about how he set me up and took my girl. Yup, Mark and Lisa got married all those years ago. They were all laughing, hoping I died on the streets, a bunch of rude and vile stuff. Guess he forgot Lisa was there, and she heard it all. So she called my stepsister to let her know, and so Emily spent all weekend trying to find me. Like I said, the email was long. Short of it is, they want to apologize face to face, although it was already said in the email multiple times, and want to make up for lost time. I'm indifferent to the idea. Like, I have no ill feelings towards her. She obviously was young and had no real say in the matter. But with lots and lots of therapy, I learned to let go of that hate and anger and to let go of them. As well, with all the love I receive from my wife, kids, and in-laws, it's all I really need. I'm of the idea of just deleting the email and moving on like nothing happened. My wife thinks I should at least respond back, even if to say something snarky like, "Thanks for finally believing me, only took over 30 years. Did I mention my wife has a mean, petty streak to her? Lol. She's awesome. Guess not asking for advice, just wanted to share my story. There is a boxing quote that I have up in my house that reminds me every day. To see a man beaten not by a better man, but by himself is a tragedy. Edited, pushing 50 to 53, because apparently people are getting hung up on my age. Because you know if it's not perfect. Guess that's Reddit for you. Top comments. It's up to you what you should do. Personally, I'd either delete the email or respond by telling her, thanks for letting you know, and that while you bear her no hard feelings, you have no interest in reconnecting with any of the rest of them. Interesting. I'm with your wife on this, BC. I'm petty like that too. Question for you. What happened to your dad and stepmom? Any mention of them in that email? Perhaps for final closure, simply respond. You appreciate them reaching out after more than 30 years, but you have a great life without any of the people who would throw out a 16-year-old child on the streets. Then, ask not to be bothered again, or say you're willing to meet if and when Mark, Lisa, your dad and stepmom beg for your forgiveness on their knees to make up for the hell you endured. Original poster replied, I might have to do an update and more info post. Like I said, it was long, but to at least answer your question, dad, stepmom still together. Update 2 days later. First, I want to thank everyone for their kind words and advice. I wasn't looking for advice, just wanted a place to share my story. To those that gave me credit for overcoming everything, thank you. However, the wife thinks she deserves most of it, lol. And in all honesty, she does. To those that think this is fake, it's Reddit, I get it. It is what it is. Most things have to be taken with a grain of salt. I shared my story, I can't make you believe me. But that's okay. If my story resonates and helps others know they can survive, then I'm happy with that. And that's all that matters. Okay, for the update, gonna post most of the original email, as a lot of you have requested. Kept out some deep personal info, but majority of it is there. Might have to break it up due to character limit. Plus, a response with the help of my wife. And also the help of others who made suggestions, which is good because I'm not that great at putting down in words how I feel without coming off looking dumb. She was able to make me sound less dumb, taking the family to the lake for the weekend to recharge and leave this all behind me. Thanks again to everyone. Email from stepsister. Dear Noah, this is your sister Emily. As I sit down to finally reach out to you after what feels like an eternity, I would like to explain why. I understand if you choose not to read this, but I truly hope you will take the time to at least hear me out. First of all, I want to apologize for never taking the time to contact you before. I was misled by Mark and Dad, who constantly painted a negative picture of you in my mind. They filled my head and heart with lies and made me believe that you were someone you were not. For a while, I held on to hope that you would come back home, but as time passed and their words continued to poison my thoughts, I let go of that hope and allowed myself to believe the worst about you. It pains me to admit that I even started to hate you, despite the fact that deep down, I always considered you a brother to me. I felt betrayed by the twisted image that was presented to me, and I regret not reaching out to hear your side of the story sooner. A lot has changed in our family since you left. I got married, and now you're an uncle. Mom and Dad are still together and are preparing for retirement. Mark and Lisa eventually got married, and they have no children. However, the truth that has recently come to light has shaken the very foundation of everything I thought I knew. On Friday, Lisa overheard Mark boasting about how he orchestrated the setup against you, how he manipulated the situation to make you look bad, and how he convinced us to turn against you to his friends as they all got drunk. They laughed about the pain he caused you and the lies he spread, all while belittling you in the cruelest and meanest ways possible. Saying things like they hope you died in the streets. Lisa couldn't keep this bombshell to herself, and when she confided in me, my world came crashing down. To think that I could have been so wrong about you for all these years is a heavy burden to bear. I can't begin to express how deeply sorry I am, as is Lisa. We both realize now the extent of the manipulation and deceit that was carried out against you, and we are devastated by this fact. After sharing this revelation with Mom and Dad, Dad started crying, like really crying. I've never seen him cry before. I believe it because he has been carrying around a lot of guilt all these years. Obviously, now knowing the truth, he is now having to deal with the consequences of his actions. However, after several hours of talking, we all came to the conclusion that we needed to find you and make amends. I have spent hours trying to locate you, in the hopes that I could reach out and extend a heartfelt apology for the years of misunderstanding and mistreatment and hurt. I know that words can never undo the damage that has been done to you, but I sincerely hope that you can find it in your heart to forgive us. We long to make amends, to start anew, and to maybe even make up for lost time. Please know that I am truly sorry for the pain and hurt that you have endured because of our ignorance and blindness. I hope that someday we can meet in person so that I can look you in the eye and express my remorse face to face. I can only hope that you will consider giving us a chance to right the wrongs of the past and to heal the wounds that have been inflicted on you by us. With all my love and sincerest apologies, your sister, Emily. Email response from Noah. Dear Emily, I appreciate you taking the time to reach out to me, but I must be honest with you. The years of pain and hurt caused by the lies and manipulation by Mark and the betrayal by Dad have left deep scars that will never be truly healed. While I understand that you are now aware of the truth and are genuinely sorry for what has transpired, I find it difficult to simply forgive and forget. The betrayal and abandonment I experienced at the hands of my own family have left me with a sense of distrust and resentment that can never be overcome. The damage that has been done has impacted me in ways that you may never ever fully and truly understand, and the idea of trying to reconcile now feels like an insurmountable task. I have spent years in therapy trying to come to terms with the pain and deep trauma I endured, and I have worked hard to build a wonderful life for myself that does not rely on the presence or approval of those who turned their backs on me. While I am grateful for the apology and the newfound awareness of the truth, I do not feel compelled to rekindle a relationship that was built on lies, deception, and betrayal, especially after all these years. I have found peace and closure in distancing myself from those who caused me harm, and I do not see the need to reopen old wounds in the name of reconciliation. While I believe in the power of forgiveness, that isn't something I can give. I wish you all the best in your life. I really do, but I must prioritize my emotional health and self-preservation above all else. I hope you can respect my decision and understand that the wounds of the past will take a lifetime to heal. I would appreciate it if you pass this fact on to others, and please don't reach out again. I must look to my future and not my past. Sincerely, Noah. Final update. Hey everyone, it's been a hot minute since I've stopped in and updated you all. First, what to thank everyone who's still been reaching out and commenting on my post. So just have a final update for you all. I know a lot of you worried about my former family reaching out after I asked them to basically let me live my life in peace. But thankfully, all has been quiet. I think my response made it clear they weren't family anymore and decided to accept it. Outside of that, everything has been good. Actually, more than good. Found out we are having a baby boy. Although this wasn't planned, we are super excited, as are the girls. Not gonna lie, I'm a bit nervous. I think my wife can tell. She just keeps telling me I'm a great dad and not to worry. And yeah, after this one, we are done and I'll be going in for the snip. In the words of Sergeant Murtaugh, I'm too old for this crap. Just wanted to leave you guys with a little dad advice. Work hard, but stay humble. Never forget how hard you worked to get where you are today. Never forget who you are. It is so much greater than what you do.